Has become the first in the UK where women can take the abortion pill at home. The decision by the Scottish Government comes 50 years after the passing of the Abortion Act, which made the procedure legal when performed by a registered practitioner. Even half a century on, it's a debate that is far from resolved. Well, joining me now is Dr. Anthony McCarthy, the Director of Communications and Education at the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children, and Kerry Abel, the Chair of Abortion Rights. Welcome to you both. First of all, if I can speak to you first, Dr. Anthony, what are you making of Scotland's decision?
Well, I think it's very depressing. It's an undemocratic way of reaching this pass, as it were, and what we're seeing is the demedicalisation of abortion. They're taking it out of real medical supervision and the care of women, and they're handing out pills now to go home, which can have all sorts of terrible results. We know there have been deaths from abortion pills. So I think it's a betrayal of women, and I think it's a betrayal of society.
Kerry Abel, a betrayal of women and society, and potentially has resulted in deaths. Can you confirm that fact?
There are several studies internationally and especially in Ireland, where it's almost an open experiment where women are having to resort to taking pills at home, that this is completely safe. It's on the WHO's list of essential medicine, and it's the Scottish Government has not made this decision lightly, and they've made it with full cognizance of the facts. And I think it's extremely positive thing that we're demedicalising something that is extremely common for women. 1 in 3 women will have an abortion in their lifetime, and it's something that should be a decision for women. They shouldn't have to make 2 trips to go and take a pill in front of a doctor and have the doctor see them swallow it and then come back the next day to swallow the second pill. It's never worked very well, especially in Scotland, where there's a wide geography, and rural Scotland and the Highlands and Islands are particularly disadvantaged from that. So I see this as a positive move and a sensible move, keeping up with medical advances.
Dr. Anthony, a positive, sensible move that's completely safe.
Well, we know that it isn't safe. People can simply look up cases which have been taken from deaths. But if you care about maternal health and maternal mortality, you should look at some of the countries with the best maternal mortality, and they have very restrictive abortion laws. What we need to do is give women medical help and to understand that abortion is not part of good medicine. Abortion destroys an unborn child, but it's not healthcare in any real sense. It's the opposite. And I think the abortion industry is very disingenuous. It's now trying to turn abortion into some consumer choice without any oversight whatsoever, and, by the way, up to birth for any reason whatsoever.
Dr. Anthony McCarthy, would you foresee any situation where an abortion might be necessary?
I think abortion is always morally wrong, and I think abortion is damaging to obviously the child and the child's mother in a very profound way. I think it's a hopeless so-called solution, and I don't think it's part of genuine care for both the unborn, we're all unborn once, and for their mothers.
Kerry Abel, is it a woman's right to be able to have that option to actually decide and elect to have an abortion? Is it a right?
Women are not just mothers or potential mothers. We're not just vessels or baby-making machines for carrying fetuses. We should have control over our own bodies. I can't understand how Anthony can say all of those things with a straight face. We know exactly how many women died before the legislation was brought in 50 years ago, and maternity wards were set aside for those coming in with botched abortions. Many women resorted to the back streets, and those women who could purchase their Harley Street abortions before 67 were only the ones who could afford it. So it was completely a class issue then, where it was making poor women suffer.
Dr. Anthony, the legislation has actually saved lives, many women having to seek further medical attention because of botched abortion. So the legislation actually benefited women.
Well, the abortion industry continues to botch abortions and women die now. But what we do know is that the backstreet numbers were hugely exaggerated, and this is now admitted by abortionists themselves. and that the abortion rate was dropping thanks to better things like penicillin and medicine, which caused the drop. This has got nothing to do with legalising abortion. Where abortion is illegal, you do not have large numbers of maternal deaths. You have fewer.
Kerry?
That's not true.
It's completely true, and you can look it up.
Can I?
You can.
I think that's very patronising. I want to speak as
well,
a
don't
woman
lie.
to say that 1 in 3 women will have, luckily in England, Scotland and Wales, a legal and safe abortion, and it's not something we can roll the clock back on. We should look at ways to make this more accessible to women, better for matching medical advancement and real women's lives.
And Dr. Anthony, what would you have to say about women who've elected to have an abortion? When they attend clinics, they're badgered by pro-life supporters and made to feel that they're committing a crime. We have a West London council that's considering implementing an exclusion zone to prevent pro-life campaigners harassing women.
Well, certainly the campaigners that I'm aware of have not been doing that, and there doesn't seem to be filmed or documented.
Is it wrong, though, to campaign outside abortion clinics, for pro-life campaigners to be outside the clinics?
The pro-lifers are offering help at the last minute to women. I don't think that's harassment or badgering. I think that's a good and noble thing.
If they're distressing women, is that harassing them?
You are offering women real help. I do not think you are attacking them or badgering them. But many of the women who do go on to have children note that the abortion industry never looked after them, and in fact used to ring them up and push them even when they said they didn't want an abortion. So I think peaceful protest whereby people offer help to women is a good thing, and it's a real attack on free speech that the abortion industry wants to crush even that option of help for vulnerable women.
Kerry Abel, is it help? Would you agree with an exclusion zone outside abortion clinics?
I completely disagree with people harassing women who are accessing their medical care, their private medical care, which is not an issue for anyone to turn up on the doorstep of a clinic and interfere with. And I'd counter this idea of the abortion industry. 3 Royal Colleges in the medical profession have come out. The Royal College for Obstetricians and Gynaecologists, the British Medical Association and the Royal College of Nurses have come out in favour of saying that actually the law should be taken out of the criminal code. It is legal to have an abortion in certain circumstances, but they're saying that we should go further and not criminalise women and put the choice in their hands rather than limit it by doctors. That's doctors who are saying that.
Can I just ask if my opponent agrees that abortion should be legal up to birth for any reason, including where the baby is a girl and that she needs to be aborted for that reason, according to the parents' religious beliefs?
I'm not talking...
Does she allow for... Or, no, do you allow for that? Do you think that should be legal or illegal? It's a yes or no.
I'm not talking about deregulation of abortion. I'm talking about exactly.
So are you against
regulations.
That then? Are you against abortion up to birth for any reason whatsoever?
I am talking about.
Are you against it?
What I was talking about was the medical profession. It's not.
So
about
are you against?
medical profession.
Yes, but is abortion right?
Could you just allow Kerry to answer?
Sure, if she does.
I was talking about what the medical profession have collectively come together and said that's what they're calling for with their patients in mind and their profession.
And where does abortion rights stand with regard to this question?
We call for decriminalisation of abortion to take it out of the criminal code because we don't want women to be punished for taking control of their own bodies.
Okay, well there's the honesty of the abortion industry. No answer to a very straightforward question.
Dr. Anthony McCarthy, the final question to you. Do you agree with abortion when it's in the case of rape?
No, it's obviously a very distressing case, but the way in which someone is conceived doesn't affect their rights as a human being. We were all conceived in all sorts of ways, but our value as human beings doesn't depend on the way we were conceived. So for that reason, no, but obviously we need a great deal of help to be given to rape victims. And
should they have access to abortion, though?
I do not believe that abortion is ever a solution to this kind of situation.
Okay, Dr. Anthony McCarthy and Kerry Abel, thank you both for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Let's go live now to the